Hey everybody, Puzzle Max here, and today I'm doing a quick video for a friend, so this one isn't going to have much editing or anything like that, so you'll have to put up with me kind of messing up and running my mouth a bit. But he needs some help with the Lan X-Skewb. This puzzle is a shape mod of a Skewb puzzle, much like this, and I'm going to solve them together, kind of do this regular Skewb first, and then transfer those same techniques over to the X-Skewb. But I wanted to leave this one solved so I could explain how the pieces work first. On a regular Skewb, you've got 8 corners and 6 centers. Goal is to put all of those corners in and then all of the centers in place. That's the way I do it. I use a very beginner's technique. You've got that same exact layout on the X-Skewb, but the corners and centers are a little different looking. Your corners are these large triangles with a second color attached and these little tiny triangles with no other color. These triangles are by themselves. So I can pick any one of those, this large triangle with the second color, I can pick that and make a rotation on it, much like I can pick any corner here and make a rotation on it. Same thing over here, this little tiny triangle, I can pick this and make a rotation around it. That's just how it works. That's what makes it very difficult. It's hard to see. You've also got centers. This large yellow piece and this large white piece are centers. And these two colored pieces that look like edges all along the puzzle are actually your centers. So there's some kind of complex issues that can happen at the end where you'll have to rotate those centers, but it's not a very difficult thing. This is a one algorithm solve technique, and if you can follow along on the Skewb, you can transfer all of those techniques right over to the X-Skewb and do the same thing. I'm going to scramble this on camera so I don't have to do much editing, and just the hardest part here with scrambling is basically just making sure that you make a turn where you bring a new corner into a position that can work. So for example, this corner here, in order to make another turn later, I'll have to bring this to a position where a corner already sits. Doesn't matter that this corner's flipped, I know that that is in a corner position. So I'm just going to make sure that I'm always focusing on where corners go and where they end up, and making sure that I'll leave myself with a potential move available. And this is a hand scramble, both of these, so these two solves will by no means be identical. But again, it's a one algorithm type of thing, so if you can follow along with the regular Skewb solve, you should be fine transferring those techniques over to this puzzle once you finally wrap your head around how it moves and how things are allowed to turn. That looks pretty good to me, and it's going to get more messed up as I do the first couple of steps. So again, this is a very beginner's method, so let's put this aside for now, and let's just show how I solve the Skewb. The first thing I want to do is pick a color. Red is my preferred color. I'm going to start with this center so I don't have to worry about it later. And I'm just going to put one corner in place on that center. It's easy to do. You just kind of find a corner that you can turn and move that down. Sometimes you'll have to rotate them. That'll come up next. This one is red, green, and white, so I need to find another corner that has either green or white attached to it. This corner here has green and red, so I'm noticing that the red isn't pointing down where it needs to be. So the first thing I want to do is get it out of the way into my top layer, and now I'm going to rotate it by turning that corner that I want to fix. So just turn that one corner, and then I'm going to bring it back down to the position I want it to fall into. That fixed it. It rotated correctly. So let's try again. Now I've got red, green, and yellow, so I need a yellow corner. Let's see this one here. I'm going to bring this one down to this position by just turning the adjacent corner. It's not falling in correctly. That red needs to come down to here. So let's bring it back up here and rotate that corner, and then bring it back down. That fixed that, put it right into place. And lastly, I've got one more corner, red corner sitting here. Put it there. It's not in place. Obviously, it needs to rotate. Here's where things get a little more complicated, though, because now I'm involving other corners that are solved. So I have to be very cautious about how I rotate this corner, because I can see this needs to turn counterclockwise. So if I just put this corner up here and turn it counterclockwise, it's done that. But now when I put it back into place, I'm going to rotate that corner that I took out of position. So what do I need to do is I need to put this corner down where it belongs. Since I know this needs to rotate counterclockwise, first thing I want to do is rotate this position where it's going to land clockwise, moving this out of the way. So I'm going to rotate this clockwise. Now when I bring this corner up to this position, undo that clockwise turn, it'll rotate that counterclockwise, and then I can bring it back down. Simple as that. This next step, you're going to have one of three situations. Either all of the orange corners are going to be facing up, basically opposite the red, or you're going to have two situations. I'm going to cover both of them. They're very easy. This first one is the easier of the two because this will bring you right to a solved state. Let's ignore these centers for a second. Let me get that out of the way really quickly. Okay. So centers are irrelevant as of right now, so it doesn't matter where your centers are. You'll fix those at the end. But this is called headlights. So I'm going to put the face that needs to be orange on the bottom and focus on which direction these corners need to turn. I can see here that I have two corners that are pointing right at me. This one is pointing another direction. This one's pointing another direction. So they're pointing, not facing me. But these two corners are facing me, which means I know that this is the headlight situation and I don't have any orange facing down. I'm going to put these headlights pointing to my left. And then all I'm going to do is using this corner and this corner, do a simple 4-cycle rotation. Up, up, down, down. That put all of those orange corners pointing in the right direction. The other situation you're going to have is a variation of that, but it's just as easy to fix. This one is going to have two of the corners that need to be facing down, so the orange corners here. The other two are going to be pointing out in opposite directions. What I need to do here is find one of the corners that's pointing down and place it on the left-hand side so that when I do this out, so that when I'm looking at it, the corner next to it is pointing to my right. That way, when I do this algorithm, same exact algorithm, it'll leave me with the headlights that I just showed you. So a solved corner pointing down and a corner that's facing to the right. So up, up, down, down, left me with the headlights. And now I just put those headlights pointing to the left and up, up, down, down once more. Put all those in place, we're good to go. Next step is to place all of these centers. This is just as easy, might have a couple of weird steps, but everything falls into place pretty easily, and there might be a setup move involved. But the setup move is much more difficult on the X-Skewb than it is on a regular Skewb. What this algorithm is going to do is it's going to move whatever center is in the front is going to move to the back, whatever center is in the back is going to move to the bottom, and whatever center is on the bottom is going to come to the front. I can see in this position that this is going to fix two of these. This white center is going to come around to the yellow face or the white face. This green center is going to come down here to the green face. Obviously, I'm using my corners as guides to tell me which colors go where. And this blue center is going to come up to the yellow face. That won't hurt anything, but I'll at least fix two of these. This uses the same algorithm that I've been doing, but just has to add an extra step. So just up, up, down, down. I'm going to turn the entire puzzle 180 degrees. So just rotate it 180 degrees and do that same exact algorithm. Up, up, down, down. Rotate it back 180 degrees and let's see what's happened. The white center that was here moved to the back, the green center moved to the bottom, and the blue center moved up here. There's 3 centers left to go, and here's a case where I have a setup move that I have to put into place. So first of all, let's take a look at what we have on the front and the bottom. This blue one on the front needs to go to this blue face here. So I want to try and get this blue face to the back so that when I do this algorithm, it'll move that blue to the back. In doing so, since there's only 3 pieces left, I know it'll fix the other ones. I don't want to mess up the bottom in this process, so I'm just going to turn this corner here to move that orange to the back. Same algorithm, just remember that setup move that I did. So up, up, down, down, rotate the whole puzzle 180 degrees, up, up, down, down, bring it back 180 degrees, and undo that setup move. That might be enough for you to figure out the X-Skewb on your own, but that's pretty much the basics on how to solve the Skewb using the same technique that I'm going to use on the X-Skewb. Now, this one looks a whole lot harder, obviously, but it's really not if you can just wrap your head around what you're looking at. There's a couple of extra steps involved in order to make sure that you've got things correct, but they're not a big deal. So, first thing I like to do is pick one of my flat centers. Again, this has the weird centers that look like edges, and it's got these flat centers. I'm going to pick one of my flat centers. It doesn't matter which one. I like white. And I'm going to start putting corners in place next to it, starting with the two colored corners. This big triangle with the second color is a corner. I'm going to move that out of the way. I've still got a lot of freedom of motion here. I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to put it back in place. That's good. Let's move on to the next one. I know the color scheme of my puzzle is red, white, blue, so I know that this corner needs to be blue. So I'm going to find the little blue corner. It's sitting up here. I still have freedom of motion, so I don't have to worry about hurting anything. I'm just going to rotate that little blue corner, bring it down, and put it in place, and then undo that rotation that I did. So it's kept that, and now it's put this little blue corner where I think it needs to go. There could be an issue at the end. We'll see. Next, I've got this big red one that needs to go here. Let's move this to rotate it and put it into place and rotate that back. And lastly, I've got this little green one that needs to go into position here. I'm just going to bring it down. The way I can tell if I've got these in the right place is based upon the other corners. If the corner above the ones you just put into place is the same color contains the same color as the one you just placed, it's in the right position. So this green, there's a green above it, orange, orange above it, blue, blue above it, red, red above it. That's all there is to it. If, say for example, this red had an orange above it, I know that I'd put these in wrong and would need to swap things around to 180 degrees in order to get things correct. That plays true for all Skewb shape mods. Handy thing to keep in mind. So next thing I'm going to do is, I know these white corners are all done, so I'm going to flip the puzzle over. So now I have the bottom I know will be my yellow in the end, but I need to figure out which corner situation I have. If it was fixed, all these yellows would be pointing down, and all of the flat parts of these little tiny triangles would also be pointing down, lining up with the big pieces. That's not the case, so obviously I have some situation here. So let's look around. Do I have an issue where the yellow and the flat piece of one of these little tiny triangles are pointing towards me? And I do. That tells me that I have the headlights situation right here. So in this case, I want to put those two pointing to my left. Hardest part about this is just keeping track of what your centers are and what your corners are. But I'm going to put that headlight situation, the flat piece of this orange one, the yellow piece of this green one, pointing to my left, and do the exact same algorithm that I used on the regular Skewb. And that's just up, up, down, down. And now you can see all of those are lined up flat against each other. You can have the same other situation that I had. Let me set that up really quickly. The biggest thing you have to keep track of here is just learning where your centers are, where your corners are. Once you finally can see that without much issue, you won't have any problem solving this puzzle. So here, I've got the other situation that I have, where two of these, the blue and the green, are facing down like they're supposed to be. So opposite the white face, they're facing down like they're supposed to be. That means that this flat one here is not pointing the right direction, and this flat one here is not pointing the right direction. I need to do the exact same thing that I did on the standard X-Skewb. I need to find one of those corners that's facing the correct direction, and I need to find one next to it that's pointing to my right. I know this is my center, that's what I'm using as a guide. So that's pointing to my right. I'm going to do the exact same algorithm that I did. If it would stop locking up on me. There we go. Up, up, down, down. That didn't fix it, but what it did is create headlights. So I've got this one pointing towards me and this flat piece pointing directly at me. I'm going to put that facing my left and up, up, down, down. That repaired all of those. That's all there is to it. Next step is to fix the remaining centers. I don't want to get these, all I want to do is get these in the right place. There's a good chance that you'll have one or more of them rotated 180 degrees that you can fix at the end. First goal is just to get them where they belong. The way I like doing this is to place the yellow center first, because I know that it's going to fall into position laying what appears to be the correct direction, because none of these centers will be rotated less than 180 degrees. They'll either be correct or 180 degree rotation. So I'm going to put this yellow one in first. I know that my back center will move to the bottom, so I'm going to move this yellow to my back, and I don't care what else is getting moved here. As long as the white one is on top, I don't care about any of these other ones right now. So I'm going to do that same algorithm that I did. Up, up, down, down. Using this front center as my guide, I'm going to rotate the entire puzzle 180 degrees and do that same algorithm. Just up, up, down, down. And now I can see that my yellow has been placed what seems to be correct. Now I'm going to put the yellow on my left, or the white on my left and yellow on my right. And now I know that I won't have to do any setup moves because everything needs to be rotated around a single axis. So that's all that matters right now, is just finding where things need to go. It doesn't appear that any of these are correct because they're all sticking out at weird angles. So let's find one that I know I can move to a new position. Let's start here. This red and blue needs to go to this position. So let's rotate the puzzle around. So this red and blue, I know needs to go to this position. So that's my bottom. So I'm going to put this red and blue as the back. I know that this one's not correct yet, so I know I can use this as a starting point. And I'm just going to go up, up, down, down. I'm going to use this center as my guide, rotate the entire puzzle 180 degrees, and up, up, down, down, one last time. I know that I was trying to move, bring the puzzle back around 180 degrees. I know that I was trying to move the piece that was on the back to the bottom. I can see that that's fallen into place and is correctly rotated. That's fine. So next up, let's find another one. Let's put all of these, so I have a clean one on top. Let's see where this one needs to go. This is red and green, doesn't need to go here. But this one back here, this orange and green, needs to go on the bottom, in between the orange and green pieces. So I'm going to put that orange and green in the back, because there's only 3 of these left. I know that this is going to put everybody in at least in the correct place. Maybe oriented incorrectly, but that's fine. So for first thing I'm going to do is same thing, just up, up, down, down, starting on the left there. I'm going to rotate the entire puzzle 180 degrees and repeat. Up, up, down, down. Rotate back 180 degrees, and there you have it. I got lucky with this one. Everybody fell into place correctly. So let me do a couple of quick things, and I can show you some issues that may come up at the end with rotated centers. Again, being that this is a one algorithm solve that I use, the only thing you'll have to know is how many times you have to do them and from which side you have to do it. That's all that it really influences. But the algorithm never changes. All right, so now we can see that this blue and orange is in the correct place, but it's rotated 180 degrees, and this green and orange is in the correct place, but rotated 180 degrees. That's an easy fix, because the algorithm that I'm going to use here, the sequence that I'm going to use, is going to rotate the piece that's on the back and the piece that's on the bottom 180 degrees. So same thing, I'm going to put one of those on the back, I'm going to put one of those on the bottom that I need to rotate, and go up, up, down, down once on the front here. I'm going to rotate the whole puzzle 180 degrees. I'm going to do that same sequence, up, up, down, down, once, and then I'm going to do it a second time. And now I'm going to rotate the entire puzzle 180 degrees and do that same sequence one final time. Basically, all this does is it takes pieces out of position, and then when you put them in from a different angle, it rotates them. So that fixed all of those. Now, say for example, you come to one of the tougher positions, which is always difficult for me to set up for some reason. And again, I'm sorry I'm doing this with no edits or anything, but this is just for a friend, so I was just trying to make this video quickly so it would be helpful for him, and hopefully somebody will find it and it also help them out. And there we go. Okay. Now in this situation, I've run into a spot where only one center needs to rotate by 180 degrees. It's this red and green one. An impossible case, you might think, but it's really not. Because if you remember, the white and the yellows always look correct, whether they're actually correct or not. So what this means is that this piece and either my white or my yellow need to be rotated by 180 degrees. I know that this algorithm rotates whatever piece is on the back and whatever piece is on the bottom. So I'm going to put this piece on the back, and I'm going to put my yellow on the bottom. Bearing in mind what actually rotates here, I know that this is a corner and this is a corner. So those are my rotational points. I'm going to do that same exact algorithm. So it's just up, up, down, down. It looks different this time because you're coming from a different angle. Feels different too, so just go slow with it. Rotate the puzzle 180 degrees and do that up, up, down, down twice this time. And then rotate the puzzle another 180 degrees and finish off with that last up, up, down, down sequence. And there you have it. Again, it follows all of the same basic rules of a X-Skewb, just with a few extra steps involved. So hopefully this helped, and hopefully it'll help some other people out too. So best of luck and happy solving.